Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm so excited to finally be a YouTuber. Honestly, it's been years that I've been wanting to do this, and I feel like all of my fans and my followers have been wanting me to do YouTube. I hope you guys enjoy it. I plan on teaching you guys all of my techniques, my tips, my tricks. I have a lot of experience in the field. It's been over 10 years, so I know that my channel will be helpful to you guys. The look that I'm gonna teach you guys today, or show you guys, whatever you want to call it, it's just like it's not really a smoky eye, it's kind of just like a soft shadow with a pop of shimmer, eyeliner, lashes, and I'm gonna show you guys my whole foundation routine as well. So I'm gonna start with applying primer all over my eyelid. I always do this before eyeshadow. It definitely helps the shadows stay on longer. I'm gonna blend it out with an eyeshadow brush. This is, I think, Morphe M433. So I'm gonna set my whole eyelid with a very light neutral color. I'm gonna use the new Naked Urban Decay Heat palette. I love this palette because it has all of the warm colors that I like to use. I'm gonna start with Sauced, so that's the third color right here, and I'm gonna use this in my crease. I'm using the Morphe M511, which is a big fluffy blending brush, but you can definitely use anything that you have at home. It doesn't have to be this brush, just anything that's blending brush and it's a little bit fluffy. So I'm using the shade Sauced all over the crease. Now you can see I'm using a very light hand, kind of doing a circular motion here. Really doesn't matter if you do a circular motion, just as long as you have a nice light hand so that your shadow blends. I'm gonna focus more on the outer ends of my eye. So I'm gonna take this color right here, it's called He Devil. So it's like a warm reddish, orangish color. And I'm gonna apply this to the outer ends of my lid. I'm gonna keep this area light because I want to do a light color there, and I'm working only on the outer ends of my eyes. So far I have this color pretty much like halfway, a little bit further out. I'm gonna pick my next color, and I'm just gonna use the same brush. So this is the M433 from Morphe. I can say this blending brush is probably one of the ones that I use the most. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how to pronounce it, so I don't want to sound weird saying it, so I'll just say the third one from the last. And this color is a little bit darker than the color I just applied. And again, just on the outer ends of the eye. So the more layers you create, the more your eyeshadow looks blended in the end. Of course, you don't want to do too many layers, but adding like a good amount of transition colors is always good. I want to make it a little bit more smoky. The Naked Heat palette doesn't have a black shadow in there, which is probably one of the things I don't like about the palette, but overall I do love it. I'm gonna pick up the Black Truffle from the Huda Beauty Rose Gold palette. So I'm using the same brush that I was before, and I'm just darkening the outer ends of my eye. Honestly, this is all really easy as long as you have a light hand. Applying my black color pretty low here, so I'm adding a little bit more on this side, trying to make it even. One tip that I do have, whenever you're doing your own makeup or a client's makeup, just do it one step at a time. I do each eye like the same, so if I do the crease here, then I do the crease there, and then if I do, you know, dark color on the half of this one, then I match it on the other side. So that way you keep everything nice and even. So after I applied my black shadow, I'm gonna go back to the Naked palette. I'm gonna pick up He Devil, which was the second color that I used, and again I'm using a big fluffy blending brush, and I'm just gonna blend those colors together. We just want to make sure everything is nice and even. Okay, so I decided to do shimmer on my lid. I'm using the Stila Liquid Metals eyeshadow. So I want to apply this on my lid first, blend it out, and then I'll probably pat on some shimmer, pigment, or shadow over it just to make it stay longer. I'm gonna pick up an eyeshadow brush. So this is the Urban Decay Naked 2 brush. So this is the one from their palette. I just added it to my brush belt. And definitely for this step, you wanna make sure that you use a clean brush. So I wanna make my lid pop. I think I'll just end up doing like a simple light shimmery. So like this one here, it's called Ounce. Let's put this over it. So we're keeping the lid nice and light. And I'm just putting a very thin layer here. I'm actually so happy I don't have acrylics on anymore because I wouldn't be able to do this. And honestly, sometimes the heat of your finger helps the blending and makes everything so much easier. I'm gonna wipe my under eyes. Just make sure everything's nice and clean. I'm using the Neutrogena wipes. And since I'm gonna do a wing liner, I'm just gonna kind of prep. I'm using the Morphe gel liner. Usually I use the Inglot number 77. It's just so black. But this is a really good one as well. So probably my top 2 favorite. I'm gonna dip my liner in and I'm gonna flatten it out on my hand. Okay. So whenever I flatten it out on my hand, I really have like this little straight line. Then I'm gonna start where my eye meets. And I'm gonna take my wing out. So your initial line should be just like a thin line. And then I'm gonna flip my brush over and connect it together. So for moisturizer, I'm using the Clean and Clear Dual Action Moisturizer. The reason why I like this is because it's very lightweight. This is very light, kind of like jelly. Just gonna apply it all over my face. I'm gonna use the Pores No More from Dr. Brandit. I hope I said that correctly, Dr. Brandit. I'm gonna put 1 pump in my hand. I need to stop saying I say a lot. So with my finger, I'm just applying this to my cheek area. So this kind of closes up the pores. So I'm using Estee Lauder Double Wear. I like heavy foundation, honestly. I'm really not into like the lightweight, even though I wish I could transition to more like dewy foundation where it kind of looks like you don't have foundation on. I'm just so used to like full coverage. Estee Lauder Double Wear is definitely full coverage. So I'm using a beauty blender. This is actually the new beauty blender. It's the swirl one. It's like really cute, white and pink swirly. I always use a beauty blender. I feel like it just really helps me blend the foundation well. So to contour, I'm gonna use the Natasha Denona Sculpt and Glow palette. The cool thing about this palette is it has like the powder contour and highlight, and then it also has the cream one with the little cap so that it doesn't get all over the place and you can just close it right after. I'm using the light medium one and I'm picking it up with a concealer brush, and I'm gonna start contouring my cheekbones. So you want to just sculpt where your cheekbones are, or if your cheekbones are too low, you can contour it higher, or vice versa. And I'm gonna contour the base of my nose. You never want to contour the sides of your nose because you're going to actually make it look wider. Okay. And I'm not going to contour my forehead because I just don't want to make it look smaller. I'm going to pick up the Anastasia brush. This is the one that usually, it's like the highlight one. But you can use anything for this step. Like, you don't have to use this brush. Sometimes I use one of these big blending brushes because it's like really big and fluffy. So what I'm trying to say is it doesn't matter what you use as long as you blend it. And I like to blend it right away so that it doesn't get dry. For my nose, I'm gonna just blend it out with my finger. I'm gonna use the Tarte Shape Tape, and this is the shade Light Medium. So I'm gonna start from the sides of my nose. You wanna always highlight the side of your nose to make your nose look thinner overall. And I'm gonna apply it to my under eyes, so we're kind of doing like a triangle type of shape. And we're gonna blend that out with the Beauty Blender. So I'm gonna use the Laura Mercier translucent powder. I usually just put in a cap. And I'm gonna dip my Beauty Blender. And I'm gonna set the under eyes. So my usual normal technique, I just kind of tap the Beauty Blender until I feel like all the setting powder is gone. And I'm gonna set the rest of my face. Now you can also do this with a big brush, but especially for my forehead, I like to set it with a Beauty Blender because I feel like it really stays in place. And you know, the T-zone area, you tend to get more oily. So whenever you get your Beauty Blender and really push it in your skin, it really sets it in place. So I'm gonna go on to applying blush. I'm gonna use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Blush Trio, and I'm gonna do a mix of peach and pink. So this is too pink and this is a little bit too peach for me. So I'm gonna mix them together. Some of the peach. That has really nice pigment actually. I hadn't tried the blushes. And I'm gonna dip my brush in the pink a little bit too. And I'm just gonna apply this on the apples of my cheeks. I'm using the Too Faced Chocolate Bronzer, and it's a really matte color, so you can kind of use it as a contour powder too. And honestly, some days when I'm too lazy to do cream contouring, I'll just use the Too Faced Chocolate Bronzer as just like a regular powder contour. So for highlight, I'm gonna use the Anastasia Glow Kit in Sun Dipped. And I know my palette's not so clean looking because I used it a lot. I'm gonna use Summer, which is the lightest color. So I'm gonna apply this on top of my cheekbone. And I'm just using like a big eyeshadow brush. And for my nose, I'm gonna pick up the same color with my finger. And I'm gonna apply it on the center. So this gives you like that really bony, thin nose look, you know, that thin little hot nose that we all want. And then I'm gonna apply some right here to make it look like it's pointing up. So I did do a little bit of the brow gel in taupe before my makeup, but obviously I have like some fallout on it right now. I'm gonna brush it out, take out all the fallout, and I'm gonna go over it with the shade Medium Brown. Now for the front part, I'm just gonna use whatever's left over on my brush. And I'm just just gonna lightly fill it in. I don't want to apply too much product because I don't like when the front of the brows looks so dramatic. Applied Lily lashes. This is, I just said again. It's Opulent in this little hot pink box. So I'm gonna apply a little bit shadow underneath my lash line. I'm gonna pick up this color, the fourth one. So it's like a deep orangish reddish color. And I'm just gonna apply that to the bottom of my lash line. So I'm gonna line my lips. I'm using MAC in the shade Oak. It's like a very neutral, light brownish, actually beigeish color. So I'm gonna start with my Cupid's bow. I love this color, but you just have to really press on it. So I'm gonna use this Marc Jacobs liquid lipstick. The color is Fawn Over Me. It's like a light pinkish, nudish color. And it's gonna dry into a matte. Okay, so this is my finished look. I finished off my eyes with mascara. I used the Too Faced Very Sexy, one of my favorite mascaras. Did I just say very sexy? I was thinking of the Victoria's Secret bra. I meant better than sex. I hope you guys like the final look. I want you guys to see it looking down. You can see the shimmer. I really love that Stila sparkle. And the lashes are so wispy and pretty. So don't forget to subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. Bye guys, thank you for watching. Love you all.
You're my dream, and I just want it. I just see myself.